What's going on?
What's up, man? What's up? So, if you guys don't know, this is Hussein H. This is my boy, my brother. He was actually one of my first transformation clients from 2 years ago, right? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, maybe even more than that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, like, it was great. I mean, it was at the starting point where I was actually starting contest prep from 2015 I started. And H actually just started learning how to work out and track his macros. And I still remember when we first started talking about working out over the summer, you know, many people usually say, yeah, let's do it. But not many people actually call back to follow through. But H was actually one of those guys that seriously hit me up. I still remember because I told you I was going away to Disney, to Florida. And I was like, yo, I'm going to call you when I come back. And he actually hit me up like legit the day or two after I came back. And he was like, hey, when are we going to do this? So, and before we started really working together, tracking macros, what was the thing? One thing I remember H telling me was, I don't eat too bad. Do you remember that combo you were telling me?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Peanut butter
and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly is not bad
yogurt,
for you.
and yogurt.
Right, yeah, these yogurts aren't bad.
Yeah,
right.
That's what he was saying, eating. He's like, I don't eat a little bit those peanut butter jelly sandwiches. And then, just like everybody else usually, when you start tracking, there's two things. One is, you kind of know that you're under eating. Or two, things that you thought that you were eating that were healthy were not really too much healthy. That was very calorie dense, right?
Right.
Because remember, after a while, you're like, oh man, the peanut butter, no way. You're like, no way. All that peanut butter within this sandwich has so much.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he really enjoyed the process because with the consistency that I always talk about with tracking macros and also training, he managed to lose a lot of weight. And I'm going to put some transformation pictures up so you guys can really see the difference. So tell us what happened. So about a year or two ago, H always had, well, ever since a long time when we first started, I remember he couldn't even do a pull-up because he was always like, nope, it's not happening, my shoulder's gonna come out. Just fill us in with what's been happening, you know, the time, like, you know, what's your current physique like, your current situation like, you know?
Alright, well, we first started out and I was 206 pounds on the day we took our first before photo. That was in July. And body comp was kind of a mess. And it's hard for you to see how you really look until you start to see those before and after.
Can I share something? And it's crazy because at that time, I didn't think it looked that bad. But then when we look back now, when you know better, you're like, oh man, wow. Like even for me, like when I first started my contest prep, I was like, wow, this was a great off season because I'm feeling pretty lean, you know? And then now I'm like, holy crap, looking back, Maggie's like, you look so fluffy. You were so like out of shape. But at that time, around January, I felt like I was amazing.
Right. So we went from 206 down to my lowest was about 177, and we felt that I was getting too light, so we wanted to kind of teeter and then start on a reverse. And everything was going well. My shoulder, we were able to strengthen my left shoulder, and I was able to, you know, move more weight, get more range of motion, do different things. And because I'm transitioning into a different phase of my life professionally, pursuing different ventures and going into my own avenues of income or what have you, I decided this was a good time for me to go ahead and actually fix the shoulder injury that I had for like 12 or 13 years. So I had a shoulder surgery that was for stabilization. So you see whatever it is after. But basically, I don't have full mobility yet. I'm still going to physical therapy. This is about 15, 16 weeks out. I just came from physical therapy today. So Al and I are thinking we're shooting for July because by then, over the next 8 weeks, I should have everything ready to go. As of this morning, I was like 212. So it's the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And I'm super comfortable with that because I know where we're going to be in 3 months, in 6 months, 12 months. So I'm excited.
I actually want to talk about being comfortable with that. I want to talk about that. See, all right. So we were just talking about being comfortable with even gaining weight, right? Can you tell us more about that? Because I'm really all about people really feeling comfortable with themselves. You know, I feel like people are their worst critics because they tend to really, and it's hard because it's with social media and just everything around us in society today that's making us really compare ourselves to, like, you know, things that we think that are like achievable and sustainable. However, the truth of the matter is it's very difficult. And like, even for me, I'm currently in contest prep, and as great as I look, right, at the gym with a pump, I look striated. People think like, wow, you look amazing, but psychologically, mentally, I don't feel like that. And I say that to every, you know, and I remember, and this is for you, Kerry, because you always ask me this. You asked, which body do I prefer? Do I prefer being more bulkier or lean like this? Because I have achieved both contest prep and off season mode full blown, and my response all the time is I prefer off season, not because I get to just eat whatever I want, but because the lifestyle is definitely much more sustainable. You know, I'm able to train optimally and maximize my strength potential, like much stronger. I'm able to go out socially more, hanging out with everyone I really care about. Food, it could be parties. I'm not really neglecting any important things around me or people. And also the fact that, yeah, I'm not as lean, but mentally and physically I feel healthy. You know, everything's clicking. I'm stronger. I don't have cravings, right? But then again, there's also a fine line between off season and still overeating. So I still have to hold myself accountable when I'm within this off season mode where I don't just go out and, all right, today's day one of my bulk. Let me go out and just, I'm bulking. No, that's not the right way to do it, because that's not healthy either. You know, anything, too much of anything is not a good thing. So like dieting for too long, not a good thing. Overeating for too much, not a good thing too. So one thing I always talk about is balance. You know, really have to balance all these different variables in life. You know, don't get me wrong, in the off season I'm gonna try to eat as much as my body can while gaining the most strength, muscle tissue, and the least body composition. But I'm also keeping in mind that within this process, I'm gonna gain eventually body fat, eating in a massive surplus. So my goal is not to gain 30 pounds of lean muscles and look still ripped, because I know as a natural athlete, it doesn't work like that. Maybe I could do a little mini cuts here and there just to reset my metabolism, but I'm not going to just say, I'm not going to go full force on the bulk and then be very depressed because I don't have abs anymore. Right. And then be like, what am I going to do now? I used to look like this. No. Just as much as I enjoy losing weight, I'm going to enjoy gaining weight. And I think this is what the example that H is talking about, feeling comfortable. Because he definitely didn't feel as comfortable the first time around.
No, not the first time.
Because he was like, oh man, like, because he wanted to really lose the weight. And like many other people, spinning their wheels. And sometimes you're busy, you know, because at the end of the day, working out does take time. And like, you know, but it's manageable. Like, remember, you're the one that's gonna be creating the time for yourself. You're investing on yourself, your health. So, you know, you can't be like, I don't have time to work out, but I have time to go shopping every day. I have time to catch up with my friend at our favorite restaurants. You know, balance is key. You know, I'm not saying don't go out, but I'm not saying go out every day and then tell me you don't have time to do this and how you tried really hard and it doesn't work, because we hear that a lot. And right. you know, I believe it, but the truth of the matter is you gotta believe it. And when you look yourself in the mirror, you gotta believe it each day and saying like, you know what? So why not just do the right thing and try your best? Just try it, you know, try it out. Try to really be consistent. and give yourself time. That's gonna be this. I'm finishing week 20 of my diet right now. Week 20, and I still have ways to go. But to the Gen Pop, they're already thinking like, man, you look super diced, super ready. But I know as an athlete, as a competitor, it's very different. So now we're gonna learn more, just to have different experience, of different mindset from someone that's not necessarily a competitor, but someone that's a future competitor one day, and someone that's really ready to make a change for this lifestyle, to really come back and really take control of everything again. So I'm gonna give this back to H. I'm gonna be asking more questions.
All right.
Let me go see. Just make
Jump out, answer your question, and then.
All right. So H, can you tell us some reason why? What's different this time around? Why you're much heavier, pretty similar body comp, I would say, but why aren't you worried about not being able to lose the weight or anything?
I think for anyone, it's natural to be concerned with the unknown. So when we first started working, you were like, listen, you just got to do what I say. You got to try this. Some things may be novel. And I was like, yeah, I trust you. Let's go with it. And then I was able to see progress that I didn't see working out with anyone else. And I started to see progress that I wasn't even expecting for myself. So then when we started to lose weight, I don't know if you remember, we hit that magic set. And then everything just started to melt off, and everything was just gains.
And that's what I call the turning point. Remember when Alex hit the turning point, when I hit the turning point, where one day you just looked completely different. Like you're just like, what happened? Like your body just looked. You're just like, it just really pops. And it didn't happen right away, right? Because we started in July. Right. I remember we started like July 11th, when I came back from the trip, and it wasn't like he didn't see it like right away on like August 1st.
Right. It was like October, November, December.
Yep.
And then that's when we actually started to reverse. And then when we started to reverse, I was so nervous because I was like, I'm like, my waist, and I'm starting to see like abs, and I'm starting to see all these things. I don't want to do that. I don't want to start putting on weight. And then we had to go back to the original agreement. Just trust the process, like trust what I'm saying. So then we reversed, and we set it up nicely. So I was able to enjoy the holidays, enjoy eating, and then I noticed I got bigger, and then I got strength on top of that, and then I still was able to have somewhat similar frame while eating almost double the food. So then when we cut again for the next summer, everything was even better. So now understanding the process and understanding what my potential could be after even just 1 year, coming back, I'm not really overly concerned about it at all. And that's why I was like, I don't mind even being a little bit more heavy than I was initially, because I just came off of no mobility in my arm for 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking about like the only activity level is like walking around to work, and we're not talking about any like exercising or.
I haven't touched the weight.
Yeah.
I haven't touched the weight in so far for a year because of another injury, but we won't get to that one.
I totally forgot about that injury.
Yeah, the hand injury.
I totally forgot about that. But the beautiful thing is, one thing, and I remember when you got the hand injury, and I could tell part of you was kind of like disappointed because so many setbacks, and there's nothing more discouraging than setbacks that are unplanned, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you're ready to roll, and this has happened to many competitors, like they're ready to start prep, or towards the end of the prep, they get hurt. 3 weeks out, boom, pop, messed up my leg, I'm out, and that's just frustrating because you work so hard, and in your mind you have this vision, and one thing I really told H was to really, it's alright. Remember what I always say? I'm like, heal properly. The gym will always be there. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's just take it. I'd rather you really take your time out and recover correctly and come back. So currently, right now, H is going to physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm still telling him to take his time. Like, our start point is July. Again, how ironic, right?
Right.
But this time, I'm telling him to make sure that everything's good, because the last thing I want to do is to re-injure him and have him just like feel like not comfortable with working out. I want him to really take it slow. So even like the plan that I'm gonna have when we start working together again, my goal for him is to not just come out going 150%. You know, on paper that sounds amazing, right? Like, you know, if you go talk to any coach and train, like, we're coming out, you know, guns blazing, we're going 100%, you know, this is like the boot camp type. But what I really focus is longevity. And like, there's no point of going 100% for a week and then you're out for another 4 months. like I'd rather you go out 50% and go 50% for the next 2 months and then go 100%. So we focus on the rate of progress, not just coming out like, oh man, I used to be able to do this. I used to be able to do this. You know, like, don't forget, it's like riding a bike. For not doing something for a long time, you're gonna be a little bit rusty, and it's part of life. I know I've experienced it. I'm sure it's at some point of your lives, you guys have experienced a situation where like, man, this is harder. But, you know, the body's very smart. It will adapt. And when you adapt to it, you're gonna really enjoy everything and just celebrate every little thing you can do. Like, tell them how happy you were when you were able to do your first pull-up, man.
Yeah, and correctly, right?
Yeah, because
everybody does like
the bicep movement where they can do like 60 or 100, right. But to do it correctly
and hold and pause and stretch and really feel.
And he hated it because he was always feeling like that was his biggest concern.
My shoulder was coming out,
and even though it didn't, that stress on the mind is very important. It does hinder everything. So just like how I always say, sometimes stress level can impact fat loss, impact sleep. It's a real thing. Stress. It's a real thing, and I always tell people, like, you have to really, what do you do when you do feel overwhelmed? Because there are times you will feel overwhelmed, and one of my biggest thing for this prep was to make it as stress free as possible, and so far, it's been so much more enjoyable. I found a way to really, I guess, not necessarily care, but I'm not letting little things get to me as much. Like, I can control that, you know. And sometimes when I do feel overwhelmed, I take a step back and I take a deep breath. Like, it might sound silly, but H knows I'm like a big believer in this, and I do it, and I just recollect my thoughts, and then I'm good. But you have to catch yourself, and it's okay to feel like that. So don't feel, oh no, it's making me soft, and you know, we're all just human, and we're growing every day. I'm talking about every day, and I'm still learning as I'm going. You know, we're about to learn again this July. It's new data. He's older, I'm older. Body might respond different. You never know. So that's the exciting and beautiful thing about this journey. It's always changing, and it's always different. It's not just about eating 6 ounces of chicken breast and a cup of broccoli 6 times a day and doing massive cardio. So it's always changing. You might be eating something else. So and if I recall correctly, you did say you want to change it up this time. You want to go like
a little bit more of a vegetarian. So we're gonna try a totally new diet, totally new everything, just everything, and then see what it is. Like, I'm comfortable enough with the process where if we aren't happy with our results, then we make a tweak and then we keep pushing.
And I'm excited because,
I'm
like I said, it's new data, a new journey, a new challenge, really, a new experience for myself. You know, never had a vegetarian, although I do see a lot of vegetarian bodybuilders, but I've never worked with one before, and I don't really know many, so that's why I'm excited. Like, it's gonna be a good experience, and I think I always mention this. You can ask anybody on you know, Shao Time, you know, the Shao Fitness team, anybody. Like, this is very important where it's a collaborative work. It's not just eat your chicken breast and do it. No, it's more than that. Like, you know, I have to really hear him out, and he has to hear me out sometimes. So we have to work hard together to achieve his goal. You know, I can give my opinions, but at the end of the day, we have to be on the same page to allow this process to really work. This process of coaching and being coached to work.
Right.
So, working with a coach, I'm going to switch gear a little bit. Like, a lot of people, I know I've seen it, I don't know if you've seen it, people really just spinning their wheels at the gym. Like they eat clean 7 days a week, very low caloric intake, protein shakes, chicken salad, like grilled chicken sandwich, very low rice, lots of cardio, sweat. They feel great at the gym, but they're still stressed though because their body's not changing. So this is why I want you to like talk about your experience with being coached, not just by me, but like just what was it like working with someone that kind of like giving you some advice and then you just have to follow it and things started rolling. I just want to hear from you on that perspective.
So the coolest thing for me about working with a coach, one thing to preface is I'm a coach myself. So I coach in finance, I coach in a few different venues. So I understand how hard it is when you have information that you want to impart on somebody and they're not receptive. Meanwhile, I came to you. So if I chose you, I shouldn't be the person questioning everything you're doing. There's nothing wrong with questioning or finding clarity. But if I'm arguing and going back and forth, then I shouldn't work with you. I think that's one of the most important things with having that relationship. You're peers in a sense because my success is your success and vice versa. And like you said before, we have to collaborate. So you have to listen to me and I have to listen to you. So the important thing for me with working with a coach is that second set of eyes. Just sometimes we like tricep extensions and it was like, one little tweak, push your elbows in. Then, we dropped the weight and I felt way, way more results. I felt that tension, I wouldn't have been able to do that by myself. I would have just been going through the motions with the best intentions and putting in the work. I wouldn't have been getting the results. So having a coach there to monitor me daily also helped me be accountable. So I was like, oh man, I gotta track my macros. Al's gonna check me for the end of the week. I gotta make sure I have everything in. And now I think I broke day 1,000.
Yeah.
Months ago.
Oh man,
so that's 3 years.
I kind of like fell off over the summer,
right.
And like when I got back on, when I started contest prepping with Chris, and I just want to say I truly agree with you, the second set of eyes opinion, because that's why I still work with a coach. There's nothing wrong working with a coach. Remember, learning is forever and it never expires. So you want to always learn as much as you can. And listen, why not? If you guys had a great experience, why not continue working together and keep going, right? Because like I said, things are always changing. Science today might be totally wrong in the next 10 years. So what I'm saying now might not even matter in the next 10 years.
Right.
But what I'm saying is really be mindful. Like, be open-minded. Like, what's the worst in trying something new for 4 weeks and nothing happens? You lost 4 weeks. But that's nothing if you think about it compared to doing something for 3 years and plus.
Right.
And nothing ever changed, and you're still doing it, and you're still hesitant and still fighting on trying new methods, because of someone from back in the days did it this way, or, and I always say, why not try it? If it doesn't work for you, then let's try something different. You never know. You'll never know unless you try. I'm not saying that it's always gonna work. I'm not saying when you work on the coaches, you're always gonna have a great experience, but you're never gonna know. It's only gonna be what ifs if you don't move forward with it, right?
Right.
It's gonna be what if, like, oh well, I heard. A lot of people can hear many different things, but don't forget, everyone's experience is different, and that's why I want you guys to hear from his experience. I'm gonna share you my experience, and then when we're done with contest prep, me, Alex, and Maggie, we're gonna sit together and we're gonna share our contest prep journey and our experiences with you. And I'll be comparing my first year experience from 2016 to 2018. The differences, the highs, the lows, and everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm having a stress-free contest prep, but it's still stressful.
Right.
It's still stressful, right? Like, I can't control that. Like, it's just part of life. You don't grow if there's no challenges and no stress. You have to overcome these stress and challenges to really grow and understand and learn more about yourself. So right now, like H, moving forward, what are some of your goals? Like, what are some of your goals for us to, like, short-term goals for us, and once we start working together?
I think one of the most important things for me post-surgery is to just get back a certain level of strength. Not necessarily, I don't expect, let's say we'll take the summer, 3 months. I don't expect to have the strength I had after working out for a year, but I do hope that I can have a certain level of strength where I feel confident just doing everyday things in life. And one thing I want to go back to preface, so when we talked about the hand injury, like I lost feeling in a couple of my fingers because I had a knife incident. It was a whole thing. But
we're not great cooks, right?
We'll talk about what happened. But
I told you, milk and cereal, you come talk to me, but
so
anything fancy, you gotta talk. I gotta talk to me.
So everything happens for a reason. So with not being able to use my hand at all, I wasn't able to make the excuse. So I said, listen, if I can't lift weights anyway, let me just go ahead and knock out the shoulder. So it almost forced me to take care of something that was pre-existing for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now, my arm, even with the limited mobility, certain movements that I make now, I couldn't make before, or my shoulder would come out. So now that confidence is starting to come back. So for short-term goals, right now, like I said, I'm like 212, 213, especially after the dinner we just had. So...
It was just lunch, man.
Yeah, we just couldn't eat dinner yet, right? And dessert and snacks. So one of my goals is just to be a little bit healthier. I'm sure if I took a test right now, my cholesterol, certain things would be out of whack. Even though I'm still counting, I'm tracking, it's not really with any goal of mine. I'm just trying to get my metabolism back together. I'm having fun too because I know I'm about to go on a serious cut. So one of the things that I want to do again is to strengthen my arm. The second thing is to have that normalcy and get back to a routine of working out because it's something I really miss.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing I would say would be just to see where we are to get ready to predict our next year's goals. Because you remember when we first started, I said, I'm 185. I had a certain number in my head, and I know enough now that I'm not really concerned about a number. I'm not concerned about look.
What I always tell you, for me, because a lot of people, when I tell them I'm going to bulk, I'm trying to cut, people always ask me, like, what are you trying to bulk into, like, up to? And I always say I go by visual now. And I've never done that before, remember? Right. And I'm starting to do more, just letting the body tell me. I have to listen to my own body now. Like, I have to train smarter now. I'm getting older. We're both getting older.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Things are changing. I'm not 18. I don't recover as fast anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, remember we talked about longevity? So, safety is always going to be first. And rest is going to be very important. And just keeping my immune system up has been number one goal. And thank God it's been great. Like, I haven't... Man, like, if I could knock on some wood right now, I would. But what I'm trying to say is I agree 100%. Just believe in the process. Like have an idea of where you want to be, what you want to look like, but don't necessarily let the weight on the scale dictate your full potential.
Right.
And I also want to touch base on something. Because when you did stop working out, there was a period of time you tried to eat sub 2,000 calories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell them what was that like?
So when I got my surgery, that was January 2nd. I just came back to New York. I went right to surgery. And again, I was like bedridden for 4 to 6 weeks. I couldn't really do anything.
Yellow cups are
right?
So
I was just like, you know what? The scale's kind of teetering. I broke 200 for the first time since we started working out. So we're talking like maybe 24, 28 months. And I was like, I don't want to put on too much weight because we're going to cut and I don't want to start because I know how hard it is to go through all the cardio and all that just to kind of clean up. I was like, I wanted to start at a good point. So I tried to keep my macros between like 18 to 2,200 calories. Whereas there have been times I've been eating 3,000 plus and I was losing weight. I was eating 18 to 2,200 and my metrics started to go up.
Yeah. And he was actually like telling me like, man, what am I gonna do? Like he was like, I'm not eating and I'm gaining weight.
Right.
This is the reason why I'm asking to bring it up is because this happens a lot to people that try to be more mindful of their eating, and and control their intake so that they don't gain as much. But what happened is what we talked about. It's discouraging because you're trying so hard to eat under a certain amount of calories and you're gaining weight anyway.
Right.
And so what do?
No
so I gave him two options. I told him to eat. Remember, but then he said, "But I'm not working out."
Right.
But I told him, I'm like, listen, would you rather gain weight at 1,800 calories or would you gain weight at 2,500 calories? Like, you know?
Right.
And for us to work effectively, I'd rather him have a higher metabolism than to have a suppressed metabolism where I gotta spend another 3 months raising the food anyway. So when he does come back, we're not gonna be able to come out lifting super heavy weights, which is fine. My goal for him is to make sure mobility, stretching, I'm going to incorporate that a lot into his program, and making sure he's really working with weights that's forcing him to grow, but not killing his joints, you know? But one thing that he can't come out blazing, that he can't control, is the tracking macros.
Right.
That's one thing that he can't control. So it's not like, you know, he's going to really just like, oh, I don't know. You control it. You know, he has a choice. Does he want it or does he not? Like, you know, right. It comes down to that. Simple as that. Like, I can give him the plan. If he doesn't follow it, I'm not a magician. I can help guide him and lead him, but at the end of the day, this is gonna be his journey, and I'm just gonna be next to him, taking on this journey together. But he's gonna have to, like, you know, really conquer and make the moves himself. So I'm really excited for us to start, man. To be honest,
yeah.
I miss it, man. My first OG right here, my first OG, and just the fact that it was such a great experience, and you know, I'm forever grateful because he's like a big brother to me, and he really allowed me to really help him transform. And one thing I really love doing is just really helping people transform. Like, you know, people that really wants it, you know. There are some people that say they want it, but they don't really want it. Like, right. You know what I mean? It's like, I have people sometimes messaging me like, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds, but I can only work out 20 minutes once a week. And I would like to diet maybe like twice a week. And he's like, how can I do that? You know, I don't want to be mean or anything, but like, if you find a way, you let me know too. I would love to diet like that too. Right. That's like, I want a contest prep, but I really don't want a contest prep, but I want to look like my best. You find a way, you unlock the code, you let me know too, because I'm trying to find a way, but until then, I have to stick with consistency and time. Time's going to be our best friend. Like, I know he's going to transform. Like, something different, but I also know it's not going to be August. It's not going to be September. But within a year, he's going to look very different. Slow and steady. And the beautiful thing is, we have time, guys. We really have time. Don't let yourself stress yourself out and say, no, I want to look this like certain time. You know, just enjoy it. Enjoy every step of the way. Enjoy, how I mentioned before, enjoy losing weight. Enjoy gaining weight. You know, enjoy being able to go out and eat. And just have fun with it, guys. Life's too short. Don't stress too much about these things that you can't control. But yeah, man. So can't wait, bro. Thank you, man. It's a pleasure. And we are gonna be done. And guys, if you guys like more of these series, just having more people coming in, more guests, clients, just let me know. You know, DM me or just leave a comment, and I'm actually gonna start, because I do remember that series I promised you guys coming. I'm finally gonna get it started. So thank you for bearing with me. You know, I mean, it's so busy. I have my show, but thank you for watching, guys, and please follow along for this journey. We're gonna start in hopefully mid-July. Maybe we should start exactly 2 years.
Yeah.
Exactly 3 years later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. It'll be fun. It'll be fun because we can actually compare pictures, data. But thank you again. So see you guys later.
Like and subscribe. Hit that bell. Peace. Shout time.
Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.